Oklahoma? Okay. You guys from all over there. Any people from the field? Okay. Just Kentucky in general, other people from Kentucky? So we're from several states, other states? Texas. Texas. Wow, y'all repping. Okay. Here's what I like to start with. All right. Before I say anything about what we're going to do today, I'm just going to show y'all some clips. That's all I'm going to do. All right. And I want y'all to talk back at me. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me set the stage real quick. One of my favorite clips. So, 74-73. We're in the 2004-2005 basketball season. Conference USA. Okay? Right before we went to the Big East. Alright? So just to set the stage, we have a money free throw shooter at the line. 6.7 seconds left. So if you're a U of L fan, you're like, oh, you know, we're going to win the championship, right? Yeah. Okay? Because we have like the best free throw shooter on the team at the line. Up one. With 6.7 left. Some of y'all thinking, oh yeah, this is not going to end well. You have no idea. Alright? So, we're getting ready to celebrate. That's all I'm going to say for right now. But I want y'all to start thinking about that situation. Okay? Alright, here we go.
You want to fight?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like
For the year. Make it 9 for 9. How about that substitution? 6'1" sophomore from Alpharetta. And he's trying to go 10 for 10 for the year.
I'm going to say he's doing a good job of freaking you out.
Make it 9 for 9. How about that substitution?
It's already over, right? Yeah, it's over.
6'1" sophomore from Alpharetta.
You know he's going to make the next one.
And he's trying to go 10 for 10 for the year.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, trouble. Trouble.
2-point game. Washington.
Oh, no.
Garcia.
You didn't just foul a three-point shooter, did you? You didn't do that. Really? So the fans are going nuts, throwing stuff at the TV. 0 seconds up on the clock. Somebody tell me, what can you do? Nothing. Exactly. Okay. We're up 2. Okay. Here's the backdrop that you guys need to think about. The free throw shooter is going to shoot 3 free throws. Okay. So what are some of the things you think?
I got to make 2.
Okay. What else?
He makes all 3 days.
Okay. What else you think? Okay. What's that? Pressure. This man said pressure. Okay. What about you all not being him? Don't you want to know if he's a good shooter or not? That's important, right? Okay. Dude's a beast shooter. It's like 90%. Now what you want to ask? Thank you. This man said game over. And I'm thinking the same thing. Alright? But here's what you don't know. Okay? The kind of questions you want to ask, because I'm trying to make y'all a psychologist for a day, is stuff like, okay, he's a 90% shooter. What year is he? Does that make any difference? He's a freshman. Other questions? Great. 90% shooter, freshman, Conference USA Championship, no pressure. How many has he taken this season? A lot. He's a guard. Okay, no pressure though, right? Okay. The other thing you want to know, he's super duper cocky in this situation. Okay? Is that important at all?
Yeah.
How come? Right. Can you be overly confident? Okay. Let's see what happens here real quick. Thank you, Bill. After the first two, I'm stopping you, okay?
When you want starts, you can see all the sparks you want here with Washington. Because in there, once again, he's found a way to make contact. There's Garcia. And he will go to the line where he is 2 of 3 today.
And they're going to
check where he's going to shoot it from. There. The quick look like it may have been a three. Here's this will give us a look. Bump behind right there. He's in air. He can cross that line in air. That's not a problem.
Darius Muskins on the free throw line. He's shooting three.
And do the quick back, folks. You're down 2. 73 plus 3 equals a win. And he's a freshman.
For the season, 72%. If he hits 3 in a row, Memphis goes to the NCAA championship.
Okay. Is his hand still up? I'm just saying. Is he doing this? Okay. I mean, maybe it's just me. Okay. Let me see. Gee, what does that mean? If somebody shoots a free throw and they keep their hand up, somebody talk to him. Cocky. What up? So let's break down cocky. What is it? What's he saying? He's saying it's over, really. He's saying, oh man, I got this. Right? But the plot thickens. There's 2 more free throws. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm at home like, oh, this is a wrap. It's over. Right? As a fan, I'm thinking, oh wow, well, you know, that was all net.
2 to go.
He's going to take the pressure off right now. He's going to go 1 for 2 for a tie. You can't describe the pressure here.
No, you can't. Okay, I don't know. Now I'm trying to pay attention to this. But what did he do after he missed that shot? He turned around and looked at the coach. He did like it. Okay, so what are you thinking? Knowing where we're going with this, what are you already thinking? What's that? He said he's about to freak out. Somebody else? He's doubting himself. What else? Doesn't know what to do. What do y'all think is going to happen? Okay. Let's see what happens.
I would be hard-pressed to tell you right now that if you see a real pressurized situation this year in this tournament as we're watching right here.
Tournament's on the line. Louisville wins.
Somebody's going to go help that kid up.
Did you hear what the announcer said? Somebody needs to go and help that kid up, right? Okay, before I say anything else about that clip, I have another. Okay?
What do you think?
I think it's a huge play. Well, there's just so much money riding on it. But don't think about that. Don't think about millions of viewers. Don't think about all those guys right on your tail. Just, that was an eagle. And don't hit a 3-feet pass, because then you're looking at a possible 3-putt. It's going to crush your score.
Work with a partner who helps you focus on the right things at the right time.
Thanks.
Work with a partner who helps you focus on the right things at the right time. Gee, I'd hate for somebody to do that. Do you all see the mental skills involved and what's going on in these situations? Do y'all agree? And help me understand, because y'all saw the clip right before they were like, oh man, I love this. And there's a reason you love that. So one more clip.
It's the USA's first performance in the Women's World Cup.
Last year, World Cup extra time, some people are probably going to the parking lots.
Just got to get everybody forward now. No sense defending anymore. Let's go get this pass off to Rapinoe, and everybody's got to bomb forward now. Rapinoe gets across it. It's a watch.
Okay. Now, I want you guys to talk to me about the difference between what you just saw and the previous 2 clips. Right? Was she under the same pressure that Darius Washington Jr. was under? Okay, and this is a really good point. Will you say that louder? Okay, but how many of us take it upon ourselves to approach the game as if we're all that matters though in that situation? Like, I lost the game for us. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Because think about it. If you really break it down, we could argue, well, yeah, Darius, you missed the free throws, but how did your team get in that situation to put you in? Right or wrong? Right? So you have a good point though, right? So what are we really saying here? We're saying that she was under immense amount of pressure. Probably a lot of people who aren't playing the sport were like, oh, well, it's over. They're playing Brazil, this game's over. There's only like a minute left in the game, right? There was only like a minute left. Some people are like, let's beat the traffic, right? I'm gonna go on the lead. Anybody ever left the game early and then some miracle happened? Right? Basketball happens all the time. Okay? Same thing. So, what are we really saying, guys? This is what we're saying. So you saw that, we see that, we see some crime, and we see that. Okay? So what our title is Head Games, Mental Skills Separates Joes from Pros. What am I really saying? What's that title imply? Exactly, Jay. See, here's the thing, guys. What am I saying? What I'm saying is that, like Coach Lolo was saying, if you're as strong as the next guy, as fast as the next guy, have the same workout regimen as the next guy, like when you get to a certain level, the level you guys are going to, okay, what's going to separate you from the next man is going to be up here, okay? And I want to get real specific with you and use y'all as examples because, again, if you learn anything today, I want you to tell me what that is. But there are some important principles in today's talk that should definitely help you, and I want you guys to tuck it away. All right, y'all with me? Okay. All right, well, let's go then. Again, I like to make y'all psychologists for a day because really, you want, remember what they said in the golf commercial? You want a partner who helps you with the right things at the right moment, right? So this is what you basically want to be saying to yourself. So here's example number one. I want you guys to just be thinking. Shannon Johnson, the team trainer, calls you and says she has a distance runner who is amazing at practice, okay, but finishes in the bottom 5 during meets. What's up with her? Anybody?
More pressure.
More pressure. What else? Nervous. What else? Doubts herself. That's good. What else?
Not confident.
That's good too. Not confident. What's that? That's good. Different opponents, because another example is going to speak to that too. So here's what amazing in practice looks like if you're a runner. Anybody a runner here? I used to be a sprinter in college. So if you're a long distance runner, okay, and you're killing me, here's what an amazing runner is. Right? But you get to a meet, where did all that go? Where did all your athleticism go? Did it disappear? Right? It didn't disappear. It's up here, right or wrong. And I'm going to tell y'all specifically what we mean. So that's one example. Second example. Coach T calls you and says his junior golfer has shot under par all year. Okay? So the golf game is on point. However, this year he seems to fall apart following a bad hole. Y'all know what a bad hole is, right? Double bogey, bogey, triple bogey, pick your poison, right? But a bad hole. What's going on? Why? Under par all year, but falls apart after one bad. How many holes are there in golf? Somebody?
18.
Okay, so I fall apart after one. How come? This man said that. What's your name? Brad? Brad. Negative thoughts. Negative thoughts. I want to come back to that. What else? He said he's pissed off at himself. That's actually good too, because that speaks to negative thoughts, right? We're going to come back to negative thoughts in a minute. Okay, could have been like the last shot. Okay. We're on the same page so far? All right. Plot thickness though. What about this? Somebody over here said this earlier. Coach Mitchell calls you, these are all made up names. Coach Mitchell calls you and says that she is a freshman pitcher #1 pitcher in the country coming out of high school. Think about that. That's no pressure, right? #1 pitcher in the country. However, she walks just about everyone she pitches to, or throws out of control. So, quote, I can't play her because she's killing us. What's going on with her? Did she forget how to pitch? No, that's not possible. So what is it then? Pressure. And that's what I think one of you guys said that, right? Earlier. Pressure. What else though? Nervous. That's good. Nervous or anxiety, same thing. What else? Not at that next level. That's something that you guys said earlier. So not at that next level. Maybe the opponents are different, I think one of you guys said. Right? Okay. Keep all that in mind if we're going somewhere with it. Okay? So Coach K is furious because Mookie can't shoot free throws. Period. He just can't shoot. Okay? Can you psychoanalyze him and read his mind? No. Also, what can you tell me about our team dynamic and whether we're going to gel or we're going to be any good this year? So, what's up with Mookie though? Why can't he shoot free throws? Pressure. He puts up 33 a game, just hypothetically. He puts up 33 a game, gets to the line, everybody's Macaulay Culkin heads and all that stuff, right? Missing the free throw every single time he's at the line. Like, is it something about, and his mechanics are worked on, his mechanics are fine. Is it that he just was born to not be able to shoot free throws? Say that louder. Y'all hear what he said? Super important what he just said. He's missed so many over the years. He's got it in his head that what? So what do you think his imagery is like? What do you think he sees himself doing when he's shooting free throws? Exactly. What do you think would happen if he learned not to think of him missing? Do you think he's missed every free throw in his life? Do you think he's had games where he shot better than he had that game? Right. So what we're talking about here is a skill, something that you have to learn how to build, right? So let me ask you the $1 million question. Do you think Mookie could be taught how to shoot better free throws? Okay. Now I want to see what y'all say about that. And then finally, my midfielder forward goes off sides constantly, but, only in big games though, just big games. Now I want y'all to think about what big games mean, because it means different things to different people. But it's only in big games. How come? Does he not know the rules? What'd you say? Pressure. Pressure, what kind of pressure? Anybody? Anxious, mental, pressure for who? Okay, who else? Who else? What did somebody over here say? Who puts the most pressure on? Right? But it's kind of human nature to blame, right? So, but we put more pressure on ourselves than other people. But he said family, friends, coach, and myself. Okay, all right. So here's where we're going, guys. Here are the most common issues that you guys and other athletes face that are extremely important to remember. Some are more important than others for different reasons. But again, I want you guys to talk back to me and give me examples. But here are some extremely common issues. You guys already said this one. Performance anxiety, call it what you want. Tension, nerves, anxious, right? But the bottom line is that performance anxiety. We're anxious when we perform. Y'all know what that is, right? Okay? Number one. This is not in any order. I'll tell you in my experience which one is. Poor concentration. How many of you guys have lost concentration in a match or a game? Can somebody give me an example of how we've done that?
Watch another game and just decide.
Watching another game?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. What else? Referees. How so? Can't we say that that's kind of the same issue that we have sometimes as the free throw though? Like, oh, well, this ref, last time we played, had it out for me kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about? So this time it's going to happen again? That's huge right there. How many people are living in the future sometimes? It's like, oh, I'm thinking about the next match, right? That's good. A wealthy couple, we can relax a little bit. I don't know if that's a good idea, right? Okay, somebody over here? More shirt?
Trash talk.
Trash talk. Okay, how so?
When other people get their head,
Ah, okay. So when other people are trash talking to you and they're getting in your head, you're saying. Now, let's be honest. This is gonna be funny, but we gotta call it what it is. Can somebody really get in your head though? Like, can somebody say, "I'm gonna magically jump in your head, and here's what you're gonna start doing now"? It's a joke, right? What do we have to do? What's that? So in other words, what you're saying is that we have to let that affect us, right? Like for it to mess our game up, right? We have to say, okay, I'm going to listen to him. So he's saying we have to block that out. So poor concentration, poor imagery, like you said. So we're shooting free throws. I'm thinking about the last time that I shot for, or the lifetime I've shot for, right? What you guys need to remember in terms of a word that's going to be really important is realistic versus unrealistic, okay? A lot of guys who are playing get into a very unrealistic way of thinking. Like a lot of people say, well, let's change negative thoughts to positive thoughts. Or let's change a negative image to a positive image. The key issue there, though, is not that it's necessarily negative to positive, but negative, unrealistic to positive, realistic. Good example. I'll talk to somebody and they're like, I'm like, how are you doing today? Oh, you know what? This is negative to positive. You know, I got fired from my job today. My girlfriend broke up with me. I got in a car accident, but it's great today. I'm great. No, you're not. You had a horrible day. Right? The key, though, is that it's realistic thinking, and I'll come back to that in a second because we do a poor job of that as athletes sometimes. Now, here's the number one. We did Family Feud, right? The number one answer would be this one. The number one problem most of us as athletes have is not just bad self-talk, not just kind of, sort of, not a good idea self-talk, but what I call ridiculously poor self-talk, like really bad self-talk. Now, honestly, let's keep it real here. How many of us have had really, really, really bad self-talk in the game? Okay? Like, give me an example, somebody. Like, what's something that I can say to myself that I think is going to be motivating that's not when I'm playing? I know some of y'all say stuff like, seriously, are you kidding me? Really? Right? He's laughing because he knows what I'm talking about. Who else, though? What else do we say? Do we say stuff like, I'm terrible, I'm horrible, I can't even believe this right now? Stuff like that? Does that help you? But do we sometimes think it does? Let's be honest. Like, do we say, well, that's going to motivate me to do better on the next play when I talk bad about myself? That doesn't even make sense, does it? But yet, that's what we do. So I'm going to try to get you guys to start thinking about that literally and how not to do it and how to change that. And then an issue that kind of steps on toes a bit, but it's honest, is perfectionism. Okay? Now here's what I mean by perfectionism. Many of us as athletes know out loud that if I were to ask you, are you perfect? What would you say? Okay. Are you perfect? Are you? Okay. Let's be honest though. But when we play at a high level, do we sometimes unrealistically expect ourselves to be? Right or wrong? Let me give you a perfect example. And this is really subtle, y'all, so I'm trying to teach y'all something that a lot of people don't know. Okay? When we say stuff to ourselves when we're playing like, I shouldn't have missed that. Has anybody ever said that? Right? He's like, yeah, man, yeah, all the time. Right? I shouldn't have missed that. I've said that a million times. What does that imply? Somebody tell me. Negative thoughts. Nate?
Expecting yourself to do it right.
Bingo. Now, when you first think about that, you're like, no, that doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. You missed it, didn't you? Yeah. Well, you should have. End of conversation. Right? I shouldn't have missed that. Did you miss it? Yeah. Well, you should have missed it. The key to what I'm saying is that when we say stuff like, I shouldn't have, I should have, in fact, in sports, I'd eliminate that, honestly, from your vocab, because that places a very strict demand on yourself that you're supposed to be perfect. I shouldn't have missed that. No, what should be said is, I missed that. Why did I miss it? Let's change that the next time. That's realistic, that's positive, that's short, that's sweet. Let's keep moving. Got it? Does that make sense? Okay. So perfectionism. Then again, think about yourselves. Like I can tell you, Kevin, that no, I'm not perfect, but when I'm playing in the game, bro, I act like I'm supposed to be. I want y'all to think about that. Okay? All right. So, here's what we're going to talk about. Joe's from the pros. I'm going to give you an overview of what we all have. Okay? And this is something I want you guys to take away from today. Of 9 mental skills. Okay? From a whole lot of research, we know that we have 9 mental skills that everybody in this room has. We all vary in where we are, and we can all improve. Okay? And then I'm going to tell you the same mental skills we just talked about, and how to change some of that. Okay, so after tons of research with athletes, okay, we come up with this, colleague of mine in Ohio has what's called this performance pyramid, okay? And what we know is that athletes, any athlete, have 9 mental skills on 3 levels, okay? The first is very basic skills. And when I say basic skills, they're skills that we just hope you have already, right? Not something I'm necessarily going to teach you. What's an example, Kevin? I'm glad you asked. Attitude. Now think about it. What do we expect if you're going to play soccer? That you'd have a positive attitude about the sport? Okay, so it's something you kind of come in with, right? Motivation. If you're coming out like, oh, here we just can. Okay, come on. Right? You're here because you want to be, right? You love the game, right? So motivation. Goals and commitment. That one's not as cut and dry though, because a lot of people don't know how to make short-term and long-term realistic goals and be committed. So that's something you can learn. And then people skills. How many know it's a problem if you're really low on people skills and play a team sport? Think that's going to be a problem? Okay. So those are the 4 basic skills. The next skills are extremely important. The basic ones are too. But the preparatory skills and the performance skills are what you guys really will be thinking about. Okay? The first one is self-talk, which we just described. So we're going to get more into self-talk. Mental imagery is another one we're going to talk about in a second. Dealing with anxiety, which is a performance skill. And can you guys say that in the Memphis U of L basketball game, as compared to the Ladies World Cup game, can you see a difference with dealing with anxiety? Can y'all see a difference there? Do you think one did better than the other in that situation? Okay. Dealing with emotions in the game, like you get a bad call, do you have to fly off the handle if you get a bad call? You gotta understand, refs are human too, right? So I make the conscious decision as to whether I'm gonna lose it or not. Okay? And then finally, concentration. Okay? Concentration. Okay. So to remind you real quick, anxiety, concentration, imagery, ridiculously poor self-talk, and perfectionism. Remember those for yourself, okay? We're going to describe some of that in a second. Okay. How many of y'all been at a basketball game and have seen people go absolutely bananas when somebody does a free throw line? Y'all seen that? Okay. Have y'all seen a guy like sink and they're still going sink? How does he do that? What'd you say? Block him out. How do you think he does that? Concentration. How do you think he concentrates? What's that? Strong mental skills. Somebody else going to say something different? Q. Developing. Can you give me an example? That's a really good point.
Focusing on the shot clock and all that.
Exactly. Some people call that tunnel vision or blind, right? And I'm going to tell y'all in a minute, because concentration and imagery obviously go hand in hand, so does self-talk. You can't really have good imagery with poor self-talk, can you? Like, I'm terrible, but I picture myself doing well. That makes 0 sense. So they usually go hand in hand. So developing cues, extremely important point. And guys, here's what I want you all to think, because what you say out loud, what you speak out into existence is extremely important, Okay? Here's what we know about successful athletes. What do you mean successful? Here's what I mean. Athletes who have taken this measure, who are Olympians, professionals, All-Americans, guys at the top of their game, professionals, etc. Here's what I mean by successful athletes. So I want you guys to say successful athlete. Say it. Okay, say I'm a successful athlete. Okay, so if you believe that, here's what you do. All right? Successful athletes, you all, know what you must pay attention to during each game or sports situation. Now in soccer, don't we have a set number of things and cues that we have in any given moment? Right? Don't we go out with a game plan? And aren't there different situations that, and I know this is like, well, yeah. Right? But successful athletes, you all, right? We know that we must pay attention to certain things. What's that mean about other stuff then? We block it out. Is it important? Based on what we're saying. Is other stuff important? No. That final, I failed it, okay. The problem I have with my friend, is that relevant right now? No. But over time, you have to learn how to do that, right? Successful athletes, we learn how to maintain focus and resist distraction. Key word there is resist. Now come on, you're a 90% free throw shooter. Okay, you're a 90% free throw shooter for a reason, right? So, in other words, maybe he does see the dude with his shirt over his head doing like this. It's kind of hard not to, right? But he's resisting it though, isn't he? Okay, resisting distraction. How do you think you do that? Because you guys are going to be in situations where you have to resist distraction. How do you do that?
Think about what's important.
Okay, let's follow that thought, Nate. Think about what's important. Like what? Let's be specific. Because remember, guys, you know how we talk about things. Typically, we're really just general, like, oh, well, he's playing head game. I like to be very concrete so you guys can take something with you, okay? So Nate's on to something here. You said, focus on what's important. What's important? Help us out. What's that? Okay. What in the game is important? Making the shot. How do you make the shot? What's that? Stare at the backboard. This is good. Think about soccer. Stare at the backboard. You're saying in basketball though. What else? Think about it. What's your mechanics? Thank you. Do you all have soccer mechanics that you have to go through? Keep in mind, I know at this point when you're playing soccer, it's like riding a bike. It's like you're not thinking about when you're driving, for example. You're not like, I'm going to look in the rearview mirror. Or now it's time for me to step 2, go in reverse. Step 3, now I need to look on both. You don't think about that, right? But it's mechanical. You have to learn how to focus on mechanics. Back to basics, right? All right. So, successful athletes are able to regain their focus when concentration is lost during competition. Think about that. That's here and now, isn't it? So that means that we're not focusing on that last bad play. How many of us have done that? Right? When we're talking about the free throw shooter, we were saying that, well, he's focused on what? All of his bad shots. Right? Successful athletes move forward very quickly. Okay? And so can somebody give me an example of how you lost concentration when playing soccer? Okay, so everybody said? So you make one mistake, you keep making them because you're saying you're going to keep making that same mistake. What else? Okay. Okay, so when the coach is talking to you and you're losing concentration about the here and now, you know what you're saying? And you're focusing on the last play? Okay. That's good, and we're going to come back to that. That's a really good point. Mentally thinking about all the things that could go wrong instead of what could go right. Has anybody ever heard somebody say, or a coach or a sportscaster say, they're playing not to lose instead of playing to win? Have you ever heard that? Y'all know what that means? Like you said, we're up 2, we start getting, oh, well, or we're playing not to lose versus playing to win. Like no killer instinct, you know what I'm talking about? Like trying to put a team away, right? That's exactly what they're saying. Okay? That's a good guy. One of the most important mental skills to think about is mental imagery. Okay? Because it's related to everything we've been discussing. Remember, what are you all? Successful athletes. Successful athletes prepare themselves for competition by imagining themselves performing well. Quite the opposite of what we said, right? Correct. Imagining themselves performing well. Create mental images that are detailed, specific, and realistic. Let me give you all a really good example real quick. So, people that I've worked with, and I've done this a whole lot. So, a lot of people that I've talked to, they have the same kind of cluster of problems. So it's either a situation where somebody's like, I can't make my conditioning test even though I'm in shape, so I can't play. Something like, I get to the third lap and fall apart. Why? Well, in high school, I passed out. What do y'all think that person's thinking about? Exactly. So here's a really cool thing I've done with athletes, and I promise you, I've never worked with an athlete that this did not work for when it was, what was the issue? Never, okay? So, what I get somebody to do, and I want y'all to think about this, okay guys? If you have bad imagery, like I keep focusing on when I messed up, I keep focusing on when I messed up, I can't focus on when I'm doing well, then one of the things that I like to do is I said, you know what? I want you to be extremely specific and give me your best performance. What do you mean, Kevin? Well, I want you to write out in detail, what you smelled, what you wore, what you felt like, what the crowd was, who was there, was your family there, was your girlfriend there, was your parents there, yes. Well, who were you playing, what was the score? I want to know all that, okay? And I want to know, play by play, what it looked like that was your best performance. Can anybody tell me in here, can you all remember your best performance, honestly? Can you say, yeah, when I played against such and such, I blah, blah, blah. Can anybody just raise their hand at that and say, I remember one of my best performances? Nobody? Not a single person. You? Okay, so you remember your best performance. Okay, one of them, exactly. And you guys have one too. But the fact that you didn't raise your hand usually tells me that when an athlete says, I can't remember my best performance, it typically is because A, they haven't given it much thought, or B, I'm pointing to you for a reason. Think about what you were saying. I keep looking at you. Remember what you said about the free throws? What do we focus on? We focus on the bad. We don't really give much, we don't encourage ourselves enough to say, you know what, I did have a good game, right? And I guarantee you guys will think about that. Okay? So what I would do is get them to write that out in detail, and once they do that, I'll record that on like an iPod, iPhone, or whatever they listen to an MP3 with, send it to them. They would listen to it before they go to sleep. They listen to it when they wake up. They listen to it before they perform. They listen to it, like some people might listen to Lil Wayne or something to get them hype or crunk or whatever. Well, I'll tell them to listen to it before they're going to perform. What do you think happens over time when they do that over and over and over? Somebody tell me. What's that? They start getting positive. What else? Say that again. They always picture themselves doing good, is what he said. What else? Tell me this. What if they mess up in the game? What do they think about right after that? Right. Basically, we're deleting your brain, deleting your memories of the past events, because it's easy for us to focus on those, and we're going immediately to the positive imagery. Does that make sense? Seems like it would work if you did it, right? Exactly. So just remember that, guys. And then self-talk. Clearly, she doesn't have good self-talk, right? How can you tell? I mean, it's obvious. So here's what successful athletes do. Maintain self-confidence during difficult times. All right, Nate, come up. With realistic, positive self-talk. Okay? I gave you an example of how self-talk can go from negative to positive and not be true, right? Because negative to positive is not realistic all the time, right? But negative to realistic, and I'll tell you what I mean by that in a second. some of you all, hopefully, this is the one point you'll take with you, and if you do, this is the best one, okay? And here it is. So if you want a drum roll, successful athletes talk to themselves the same way they talk to their own best friend. That sounds really warm and fuzzy and flowers and all that, doesn't it? But you all have to understand an extremely important point I'm trying to make here. How many of us, again, dog ourselves when we mess up? Okay? Here's what I mean in person if you want to know in real life what I'm saying. You're going to laugh at this, but you're going to laugh and I'm going to ask you why. Nate's my best friend now, all right? We're best friends. We play soccer together. And he's upset. Watch what I say to him. Remember, I'm his best friend, okay? So watch this. All right, Nate, what's up, man? What's going on?
I was awful. Being able to sport,
You know what, Nate? You do suck, man. You're terrible. I mean, in fact, you know, if I were you personally, I mean, because we friends, right? I'd pack your bag and I'd go home. I don't even know why you're here. To be honest, okay? You do that? All right, good. You do all us a favor, just go home. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you. All right, give Nate a hand for doing that. Let me ask you a really obvious question. Why was that funny to y'all? Coach Lola, here's the tomatoes and bananas getting thrown at me right here. Okay, so why do we say that to ourselves then? Right, and that's a good answer. But do y'all see the point though? We say that to ourselves, but will we say that to our best friend though who's in a slump? Nah. But yet, we say the same thing. Do y'all see the problem? Successful athletes don't do that. Successful athletes talk to themselves the way they would talk to their best friend. And let's keep it real. What should I say to Nate if he's my best friend? Based on what he told me. Keep your head up, keep working. Man, I need to just go home, man. What would you say? Okay, man, I'm the worst player ever in existence. Obviously not if you're here. Then tell me how that would be different. What you tell Nate. Wouldn't you tell Nate what would be good for Nate? Right? So don't give me the, oh, well, I'm different. No, you're not. You talk to Nate the same way you're supposed to talk to yourself. Got it? You remember anything else today? Talk to yourself the same way. If you believe you're a successful athlete, that is. If you don't believe that, then you don't have to say that. But if you do, which you all agree, then that's how you talk to yourself. All right, Nate, you got a lot of ammo now. You know not what to say, right?
Yeah.
That felt horrible. Saying that to you, right? So here's an example. This is T.O. when he was crying when he played for the Cowboys. He said, that's my quarterback, man. And, you know, you can see his stress. But here's an example. Guys, if you're serious about the next level, here's what I would suggest you do if you have bad self-talk. I would just take a piece of paper and write a line down the middle. That's it. Pretty easy. Things I say to myself when I get myself in trouble in terms of how I feel. Man, I really am garbage. I don't deserve to be here. Like, really? I missed that crap? I can't look bad again today. Coach Lola's going to send me home. Like, that's just an example of some really bad self-talk, right? Now, what's wrong with the I really am garbage? Why is that a problem? Exactly. What happens when you think of things? What does your behavior do? How do you feel when you say, I think I'm garbage? Exactly. Now, the question that will make y'all laugh, but really make you think about it is, gee, does a dump truck come pick you up every Tuesday morning? Like with the trash and the old cans and, you know, the maggots and all that? Is that what level you on, bro? You're going to laugh at that, right? It's like, no, well, why do you say that to yourself then? Seriously, right? Okay, just checking. But check this out, y'all. And this is something that I really want y'all to think about. Very short and sweet. Good soccer player, bad day. Is that realistic to say? Is it short? Is it true? Short, true, positive. The true is most important. Short, true, positive. I'm a good soccer player. I didn't play well today. Right? Does that make sense? We all make bad plays. Is that realistic? Short, true, positive. Defended better than last match. Is that realistic? In that situation, why would you lie to yourself? So clearly, it's true, right? A bad day on the field is better than being in class. Is that realistic? Right? Like, why are you playing, right? Do you not like it? You play because you don't like it. That doesn't make any sense. Short, true, positive. Y'all got that? Y'all promise y'all gonna try to do that? All right. We got this before, so we'll play it back to remind y'all. Okay. So here's what I'm saying, okay? If you really want to think about, in terms of the cycle, what this looks like, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to get you guys to give me an example real quick. Okay? What we call the cognitive model of sports. So we'll use soccer. I'll use golf too as an example, just to give you an example. But we have a situation that happens when we're playing, right? What happens right after that? It doesn't matter what it is. We have a thought about it, right? Something happens, you think about it. You have a feeling as a result of that thought. Usually one word, okay? Then you have arousal of some sort. So your heart's going to beat, you're going to sweat, you're going to have a lump in your stomach, something like that. And then you have an action. That's what happens in any situation. And you can control the entire cycle, okay? Here's an example. So like in golf, which is a really good example, say somebody finishes under par, beautiful drive. Well, one way to think about that is this, and this is what a successful golfer would say. Now that's what's up. I kept my arm back, straight, back, hit. What is she focusing on? Form. What's another word for form that starts with an M? Mechanics. Do y'all remember what I said earlier? Here's a nugget for you. If you focus on just mechanics, you don't have time cognitively to focus on anything else. Does that make sense? So if you're focusing just on mechanics, you don't have time to look at the dude who's super overweight with a big D on his chest trying to make you miss the shot. Right? Okay, mechanics. What happens? You picture others praising you, you imagine the next good shot, tunnel vision, and let's say you have a decent shot. It's not as good as the first one. Here's what somebody who's successful would say. My mechanics were a bit off. I need to refocus on mechanics. Good shot while I'm relaxed. So I imagine myself hitting well again. What happens? I hit it well again, and that cycle continues. If you continue that cycle, you're probably going to have a really good round, right? Okay. You're not going to be as anxious. So here's what I want you to do real quick. You can look at your neighbor, just somebody beside you. I want you to think about, and I'm going to give you an example of what to think about. I want you to think about a situation in soccer real quick, okay? Focus on the situation in soccer. Focus on the thought you had that maybe got you in trouble. What do I mean by that? I mean that you felt bad about yourself, okay? Focus on something that happened. It's like, oh, really? Seriously? Then I want you to focus on that other thought. What could have combated that thought? What is something else I could have said to myself and I wouldn't have felt as bad? Okay? I just want you to give me a good example so you can start thinking about this stuff when you're playing. All right? So a situation, a thought that kind of made me feel bad, a thought that could have combated that, or even a thought that I did use that was better. Okay? So do that real quick and I'll come back and just randomly pick somebody and you tell me what you thought about it. Think about a situation real quick. Obviously, we've had a situation where we messed up. Right? All right. Somebody raise their hand and tell me somebody that doesn't mind saying what they talk about. All right. serious? That's classic, right? Are you serious? I can do better than that. Just make the next pass. So the thing to think about there, right, is am I capable of making the next pass? What would you say? Exactly. You made the next pass before, right? Exactly. Why not focus on that? Good job. What's another example? Exactly, and that's a really good one. Can y'all honestly say that we all said that before? I shouldn't have done blank. I shouldn't have done that, right? Remember what I said. That means you're supposed to be perfect and that you didn't miss or mess up. Well, what happened is you messed up. The thing to say is what he said, which is, what do I need to change next time? That gets all that emotional pressure off of you when you say that. No, that's not bad at all. Because what you're trying to figure out is what do you need to change for next time. That's perfect, because if you're focusing on mechanics, that's the kind of thing that would be helpful for you to say. So no, that's good, that's a good question. Maybe I was off balance. So basically you're trying to solve a mystery, right? Why did I miss that shot? Maybe I was off balance. So that's good. Anybody else? Okay. So here's what I'm trying to tell you guys, okay? You got to identify your main barriers, okay? What barriers are impacting your game? So the first thing to do is recognize that I'm getting in a slump of some sort and that it's not physical. If you know that, then you can start thinking about the stuff we're talking about. The first culprit, though, usually is self-talk. You usually can identify that pretty quickly, but you have to take the time to do that. And when I say identify self-talk, I mean you need to write it down. You don't need to, oh, well, I remember I said this in the verse. No, you need to write it down, because writing it down forces you to be objective. In other words, what happens, I promise you, if you wrote down some of your self-talk and then read it out loud, you would laugh at yourself, I guarantee you. It would be like, are you kidding me? Like you said, seriously? Like I say this to myself? Yeah, you wrote it. Quick example, there was a tennis player I worked with. She told herself, y'all gonna laugh at this, but think about yourself. She said, I'm a fat cow. You know what happened after she said that? Literally. She lost 6 love. Right? Wow. And y'all gonna crack up at this, but this is my style, and people that know me know this. I was like, so you telling me then that you have udders? She's like, no, what do you mean? So people like milk you, and like you say move? What are you getting at? What I'm getting at is that you called yourself a fat cow. So you're saying that, yeah, think about how slow you were getting to the ball. Think about your serve and double fault. Where did that come from? Do y'all see my point? Okay. Yeah, you gotta go there with people. Let's be honest, that's what you said. So I'm just calling it what it is. I don't see others, but maybe I'm wrong. Monitor your self-talk before and after competition. So in other words, you have to do this before, you have to do this after. So I call it a self-talk analysis. What did I say to myself during the game? What did I say after? And then we can do what my man said. Well, gee, what is it that I can change the next time? Right? Versus, I'm terrible. Coach Lola did this, you made a mistake by even letting me sign up. You know, all that kind of stuff. No, that's not true. Nate would not say that to his best friend. I hope not. You're not going to be friends long with us. And then the second thing that is so incredibly important, and so many people forget this, is what we call ego versus mastery. Ego versus mastery. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you need to remember and think and be very honest with yourself. Why are you playing soccer? Somebody tell me. Do you love it? Did you say that? Do you love playing soccer? Does anybody else in here love playing soccer? Does anybody in here hate playing soccer? Well, you know what I'm saying? My mom forced me to play. No. Do you love playing soccer? Raise your hand again. Okay. If that is the case for you, you need to remember that every single time you play and practice. Why do I say that? That sounds all like flowery and stuff. The reason I say that is because so many athletes are playing and they forget that they love the game, so they play for other rewards like, well, I'm going to get a bunch of attention. Or, well, I'm trying to make others look bad. Or, well, I'm playing for this other reason. No. If you're playing because you love the sport, then what you need to remember is that you're playing to do what? Have fun? Yes. What else? Huh? Well, you want to win, but if you're playing because you love it, nobody likes to lose. But if you're playing because you love the sport, you're playing to have fun and what else? What's that? Get better. Right? And if you remember that I'm playing because I love the game, I'm going to mess up, then that means that if I'm playing this game because I love it, then that means I'm going to learn something every time I play, right or wrong. If you're playing for some external ego reason, then you're going to be upset a whole lot when you're playing soccer, believe me, a whole lot. And in high school, honestly, a lot of people do get into that. It's the, well, I'm getting attention, or, you know, they see my name in the paper type stuff. No, if you're playing for that reason, you're going to be disappointed a whole lot when you mess up, let me tell you. But if you're playing because I love the game and I want to improve, then that's what you're going to focus on when you're playing. Nobody likes to lose, but if you're improving, then you're going to be winning the game. Right? Okay. All right. Well, here's some info from me, guys. At this point, I just want to see if you guys have some questions and ask me something about, you know, well, what about this, or can you clarify this, or something like that, and let me know if you have questions.
Talk about self-talk and being positive for ourselves.
Yep.
But what about the players that are real positive with themselves, but then negative towards their team?
So how do you approach like a teammate that's like that? That's a really good point, and that's a really good question. See, the thing that's deep. I'm really surprised you asked that. One of the things about athletes that's really important is that, and Coach Lola does a great job of this in my opinion, is you got to create a culture of mental skills. Okay? So in other words, you and that guy and others need to be on the same page and hold each other accountable as to how you're doing, not only in the gym or your weight training or whatever it may be, but also, how's your mental skill game going this week? What did you say to yourself? How are you talking? So in order to be able to effectively approach somebody like that, you are going to have a conversation and communicate on an individual level, most importantly on a team level, that here's our standard. Do you understand what I'm saying by that, guy? Is that you have to have a culture that allows you to do that. When you have that, you can start calling people out. Wait a minute, so you're saying that, you said that to him, but you're not saying that? You're going to have to help me understand, well, yeah, you're right, thanks for calling me out. That kind of thing. Does that make sense? That's a really good point, because that does happen. But when the culture is there, and maybe you can be one of those guys trying to start that. When the culture is there, that's going to be extremely important to be able to approach a teammate. Hopefully that makes sense to you all.
Can we give Kevin a round of